I'm working on that.
We're here at the Crown Sydney. Drake and Billie Eilish have been staying in the presidential.
It's been a stressful few weeks. This year's been very, very tough to begin with.
When you would show this car, everybody would be like, holy shit, that's a black car.
Made my first $1 million, 15, 16 years old. By the time that I was 18, it's all gone.
I have been selling Tesla. I sold Palantir at... What's up guys? Welcome to Sydney, Australia. Sydney specifically is probably the most beautiful major city in the world. It combines nature and a big city. It's probably the only city in the world that I've seen that looks like this. You don't see too many major cities that are as beautiful as Sydney. So every time I come back, doesn't matter how long I've lived here for, I'm always shocked. It's been a crazy few weeks in the stock market. I'm gonna touch on that later on in this video. It hasn't been an easy last few weeks because Trump's come in and he's really rattling things around. Every day the stock market opens up, starts off very positive. Things look like they're strong. Things look like they've got a lot of momentum. And then, boom, by the end of the day, everything's down and everything's tanking. And this has been a consistent cycle for the last 2 weeks straight. So definitely, I've taken a lot of hits this last couple weeks. I did get lucky with selling some things right before this all occurred, but we will touch on that a little bit later. This is what Sydney's about. Look at that view. So this city, Sydney, Australia, where we are right now, is actually the most expensive city in the world for real estate. I'm pretty sure it just overtook Hong Kong. Everywhere you look, all these apartments, you would be shocked if you found out the prices of all of them. This hotel room right now, if this was an apartment with this view, the price of this place would be insane. Standing here right now and staying in a place like this with a view like this was a dream when I was a little kid. I grew up in a lot of very, very bad places. Single parent household, on and off government benefits. And now everything's changed. And that's why I'm blessed to have been born here. You know, I grew up poor. I grew up with life telling me that I wasn't going to be anything, but this country specifically gave me everything. I remember looking around in the places that I used to live. I remember these moments so specifically. These are the most defining moments of my life, and I'm sure you guys have these moments as well. I remember being a very, very young kid, living in a very, very fucked up apartment, and just saying, I can't do this anymore. This has to change. Like, I will not go on any further in my life living this way. And while it did take a lot of time and I had to shift everything that I was taught and the things that I had learnt, eventually it happened. So it just shows you what's possible, and that's why I'm so grateful to be standing here right now. Just shows you how far you can come when you really change your mindset, you believe. I'm telling you, everything's possible. So shout out Australia, shout out Sydney. I love coming back here because it reminds me where I came from and it reminds me how far I've come. We're here at the Crown Sydney. I really wanted to book the presidential suite. It's the video that went viral with Drake throwing his shoe at the drone. I thought it'd be cool to go up there, but just as he's left now, Billie Eilish is staying up there. And Crown keeps telling me, we'll let you know. But every day, they never let me know. Anyway, we're in this beautiful 1-bedroom suite. The cool thing about this is it's actually in a private tower. So the main hotel, everyone goes through this one entrance. And if you stay on this side of the hotel, these rooms are called villas. So this is called a 1-bedroom crystal villa, and it gets you a personal butler, it gets you a private elevator. Your service level is a lot better than the other side, I would say. So my experience this time around has been much better. Alright, so these last few weeks on the stock market have been very, very volatile. This has been some of the most volatile weeks that I've gone through in the last few years. I'm sure a lot of you guys are experiencing it. You just can't trust this market. You don't know what's gonna happen. Every day, it's like ping pong. Green, red, and it's been very, very stressful. And for me, it's been crazy time because I came to Australia, and as I landed in Australia, which is, I would say, probably the worst time zone in the world to be, because here the stock market opens at 1:30 a.m. and closes at 8 a.m. So for me, I cannot go to sleep at 4 p.m., you know, to wake up early. The main question everyone's probably wondering is, am I bullish or bearish about what's happening? Now, I think that some valuations were definitely stretched. I decided that Palantir had stretched too far. I think the valuation became very, very crazy. Now, I got very, very lucky with this timing. I'm not claiming this and being like, wow, I'm such a genius, because when I'm a long-term investor, I definitely will rearrange some things for the short term. Maybe if I think that things are looking a little bit too frothy, I may cut some positions down and then see if there's a better re-entry. But the intention is still to hold that company for the long term. So very, very lucky timing. This is Palantir. I sold Palantir at $125. I got rid of almost all of it, still holding just a tiny bit. Now, I did open up some contracts, and the contracts were for me to re-enter Palantir at $92, and $88. So those are both hit, which I was happy to do. I was happy to re-enter Palantir at those prices because I thought to go down from 125 all the way down to 88, it's okay for me because I was able to make some good savings there. So I did get very fortunate and lucky with that timing. I have been selling Tesla. Again, the intention is to hold Tesla through the long term, but I do buy and sell for the short term as well. So I will trim and add, trim and add. I said this in another video that last year in December, things skyrocketed after Trump, and I did lighten my portfolio by a lot. So I got lucky that I decided to trim a lot of the positions that I had, and only now recently I've been diving back in and getting back in and starting to buy more. I think that this has been a very, very healthy correction. There may be still some more pain to go. I'm not sure, because if we look at how much we're down from the overall beginning of the year, it's still not that much. You know, we can have much bigger corrections. The market could continue to keep falling, but the main reasoning of all of this is Trump. The tariff talk on a daily basis is spooking people. People aren't really used to this volatility. Like, Biden was nowhere to be found for 4 years. The guy was on a beach for 6 months of the year, and then he'd pop out for 3 sentences, which you didn't even understand. That was actually, when you look back at it, very, very good for the stock market, because he didn't say anything that would rattle up things. He wasn't trying to do anything drastic, whereas Trump is trying to make very, very big drastic changes very quickly in order to get to his intended target. So that means that there could be a lot more volatility ahead, because the guy is obviously trying to do some crazy things and he's going about it in a way that's scaring people. But in saying this, there will be a point where people will get used to the way that he's running things, you know? If Trump threatens tariffs on the first time, it's gonna be a very, very big reaction. The second time, the third time, it's gonna be a reaction, but it's not gonna be as big as the first. I think that as time passes, people start to understand how he operates. Eventually, people are gonna calm down. We're gonna get used to how he runs things, and I think the markets will eventually calm down. I do think that these are good buying opportunities, and I think it's absolutely necessary. I think valuations were very stretched across the board, and a healthy correction is always necessary. Again, I always look at things 5 years out, and so even if it's a 1 year market where things are choppy or things are going sideways or it's very little green in that year, I personally don't try to stress about it. I always try to look, what about the year after? What about the year after? What are these companies going to be worth in 2 to 3 years? That's how I try to look at everything, and this is why I've gotten to where I am today, because I look so much further ahead than everybody else. So many people are focused on right now, today, tomorrow, and that's it. And so if things crash 15%, yes, you're gonna feel it, but I just try to look for the long term and not try to focus on the daily movements too much. Though being here on this time zone has been absolutely cooked, and it's made me have to look at things when I should be asleep, which further adds to the stress of everything. So I hope things calm down soon and we go back to more of positive momentum, but anything's possible right now at the very, very early stages of Trump taking office. So let's see what's gonna happen. Good, thanks. How are you? Alright, so I'm trying to get this stream working. Very difficult because I'm in Australia, but I don't have any Australian apps. So now I'm on the UAE stream, which doesn't allow me to stream it here. Alright, so here's what we do. Here's the solution, right? I use my UAE number all around the world. So I've got roaming. I don't get local SIMs. I just use this one SIM. And what I'll do is I'll tether to my device. So hotspot, because what will happen is I've got the UAE app installed on this Apple TV, but then I'm connected to Australian Wi-Fi, and the app, the service knows that because it's region based. So I'll try to connect on this Wi-Fi and it will say we cannot allow you to stream, but then when I tether off the UAE number, the Apple TV thinks that we're still in the UAE, and then it should work. So just so you know, I just tried to put it on, it said won't work, but now we're on the UAE connection. Woo. Lucky you didn't bet. You'd be broke right now. Thankfully this train didn't work, eh? So UAE was like the only region in the world that I think before you could basically pay a monthly subscription. So you paid like $10 a month, and they would include all the pay-per-views in that monthly subscription for free. So if you are a member of UFC in Australia or America or anywhere else, usually the pay-per-view is separate. But in the UAE, they had this $10 a month subscription. Every single fight was included. So no matter where I was in the world, I just log into the app on the UAE SIM, and then you just get the pay-per-view. It's not about the money. It's just that when you're traveling, it's very difficult to get the streams. Like, the Apple TV doesn't like that you're in another region. So that was a very good solution, but they recently got rid of that, and now they're using some other service provider. So it's going going to decision. It looks like technically Pereira lost, I'd say, but let's see what the decision's gonna be. What's your thoughts?
I feel like Pereira lost, but they might give it to him. But you never know.
Let's see. Pereira's a big draw for them, so you wouldn't want to get rid of your star. If he loses now, like, how do you regain from that? He's too old, man. He's 37. Oh. Wow. Crazy. Guys, it's very, very difficult to film for me these days, and I can really understand how a lot of people that do YouTube, you'll see they go on breaks. The problem is that when you go on a break, you take an extended period of time and then you come back, it hurts your channel a lot. So I'm trying so hard to keep filming, to keep creating content while not hurting my channel, and it's been very, very difficult for me, and I tend to do it at the very last second, you know, when I'm about to leave the country that I'm in, and then that usually ends up in having a below average video, I'll be honest. And that's just because I had no time and I didn't really have the desire to do it either. So same thing, leaving Australia tomorrow, I'm trying to just film as much as I can. So I'm gonna take you on my day today. But yeah, trying really hard, but it's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. I have a lot of admiration for people that are able to show up every single week and drop a consistent video.
What's that?
This is a black card, American Express black card, but this is a replacement. And usually if I was in Dubai, they would actually hand deliver. But because I'm overseas, they sent it out. They're irreplaceable. And that's the card. They have multiple designs of these cards, so you can put like flowers and stuff. Like, I personally think that the OG design of the card, which I have, and I may have shown in another video, but American Express had this like classic design for their card. It had like this pattern around the edges. It was a lot more bulky of a card. It just had a presence. And this is the card design that they had for, I guess, more than 20 years, 20, 30 years. When you would show this card, there was a bossness to it. So I'll tell you a story, right? I was once at a bar in New York, and I was standing at this bar, and this was a very long time ago, very, very long time ago. I was standing at this bar and I was waiting to order some drinks. There was this girl next to me, and while I was waiting for my drinks, I started trying to chat to this girl, and as I tried to speak to her, she completely shut me down, and she like gave me like a look of disgust. So I got rejected by this American girl. Now, when the drinks came and the bartender asked me to pay, I pulled out my black card and I went to hand it to him. This girl immediately turned around because she saw the card and was like, oh, hey, sorry, what's your name? And like try to spark up a conversation. Yeah, when that happened, I obviously had zero respect for this woman. So I didn't even reply to her, but that's the power that card had at that time. Now, in the era that we live in today, this card, I think that a lot of the younger generation, one, won't know what this card is because I have been pulling this card out for years. I've had this card longer than any influencer or YouTuber that you would have seen with this card. Most of the people that you've seen with this card have gotten it in the last couple of years. Now, the reason why most influencers have gotten the card in the last few years is because American Express has actually made it a lot easier. Before, you could not see any details that were related to this card online. Now, when you Google American Express Centurion, there's actually a way that you can kind of apply for it. So before, that wasn't a thing. So one, it's lost its exclusivity. And then two, I just think because of Apple Pay has come out now, and now you just go like this. Before, you had to pull out your card, and when you're in America, you had to hand it to the server. The server had to grab the card, insert it into the machine, and then you would sign the bill while the server was looking at the card. So it had a very, very big presence. Now, one, you pay with Apple Pay or you just tap. So that moment where that person that's involved in the transaction gets to look at it doesn't exist anymore. So that wow factor isn't there anymore. But back in the day, you would pull out the card and almost everybody would be like, holy shit, that's a black card. I haven't had one of those reactions in years. So maybe it's a new generation, or maybe it's because of Apple Pay, who knows? But this card isn't as cool as it used to be. Used to be a lot more boss.
Whoa, whoa. Wow. Brand new eyes and brand new nose. Let's go, let's go. Bend it over, touch your toes. Let's go, touch your toes. 50 big ones on the floor. Let's go. Lambo truck on SRT. Let's go.
Oh, I'm fucking exhausted, man. It's been a stressful
few weeks. Stressful year, to be honest. This year's been very, very tough to begin with, and I think that it's just one of those years, you know? Some years are just much better than others, and then other years are more testing than others, and this has been a very chaotic one for me. I hope that things will start to calm down soon. This is life. Life is just up and down. You never know what can happen, what can occur. And yeah, going to be doing the big marathon flight back to Dubai because I've decided that this time zone right now for this period in my life, it's not for me. I cannot be in this time zone whilst I'm taking investing seriously. And so I'm going to fly back to Europe. I'm going to stop in Dubai for a little bit, and then I'm going to go somewhere in Europe. I won't disclose the location, but I'm going to go somewhere in nature in Europe, kind of do the same thing that I was doing last year. Just go somewhere, little retreat for a couple months, lock in, focus, and most importantly, be on a better time zone. Like, that's one of the most important things for me.
See that right there? That right there is Luna Park. That is where I held my very first festival when I was 15, 16 years old. This venue right here is the sole reason of so much success and so much hardship. I made everything. I became somewhat famous in my city, made my first $1 million, and then shortly after, lost everything. And when I mean lost everything, I mean I went to zero, to the point where that part of me died and I had to take years to recover and then become reborn as a new person. It's crazy standing here. Like, this is one of the most monumental things in my life. Every time I'm back here and able to stare at this, it just gives me goosebumps because of how much I went through, how much I learned. Now, I know it's just a venue, but that venue means so much to me in the journey of my life. Made my first $1 million, 15, 16 years old. And then by the time that I was 18, it's all gone. It was all over. The party had finished, and I had to wake up and learn how to do it all again from scratch and forget about who I was before, because the person that I was before, even though he became successful for the wrong reasons, there had to be a lot of changes that were made in order to get to where I am today. So I'll forever be grateful for this place and this city, and it's crazy standing here right now.
Yeah. Leaving out the club with no hoes, it's a dub. You somewhere on house arrest pretending you in love. Exfoliate that nigga that you're with, he a scrub.
I've become a bit of a milk tea addict over the last few months. Don't know why. It's probably not very healthy, but we all need our vices, you know? I don't drink, I don't smoke, very rarely drink coffee these days. So I think I found the best milk tea spot in the world. We're going there right now. It's called Molly Tea. Streets are buzzing, which is very surprising for Sydney because Sydney's a very sleepy town. But look around, it's busy everywhere. Why is it busy? Because we're in Chinatown. Asians stay awake a lot later than Australians, which is something that I don't like about Australia, is how early everything winds down here. So let's go get this tea and then I'll give you my feedback.
Number 1400, please pick up.
Look at this is nuts. A line at 10 p.m. at night on a Sunday to get some milk tea. That's crazy.
So you order one Yongchun Bergman milk tea with 0 sugar, regular ice.
Thank you.
Okay, the total is $22.80. You can have here.
Alright, so we got our Molly tea, we got our milk tea. It's from a place called Molly Tea. If you got one in your city, if you've got one in your country, definitely check it out. It's the best milk tea I've had anywhere in the world. Insane, 10 out of 10. Alright, so now let's get out of here. Australia. I wish I could have shown more. I wish I could have filmed more, but wasn't possible this time around, and I'm sad I've got to leave now. I actually put a story out and I was planning to do a meet and greet, but it was just too chaotic and too stressful. I was actually shocked by the amount of DMs that I saw. Thousands of people that said that they wanted to come to the meet and greet. I think it would have been crazy, and for me that is such an important thing. Doing this for me has been amazing, but just seeing views and subscribers, like, that doesn't really make me feel anything. Like, I like to see people come up to me. I want to hear the stories about how, if I have made any impact on you, your life, the way you think. When people come up to me on the street and they talk to me, I actually really enjoy that. I think that it's really nice to see the results of the work that I put in and to see that it can touch some people. So that's why I was looking forward to doing that meet and greet, but just this time around I wasn't able to make it happen with how crazy it's been since I've been back. But now, packing to go back to Dubai. I'll film some of that as well, and I'll take you guys on the plane, and then after Dubai, gonna be heading to Europe.
I'm jumping out drugs, I'm jumping out drugs. Don't do that, my nigga. I'm jumping out drugs, I'm jumping out drugs. Don't do that, my nigga. I'm jumping out drugs, I'm jumping out drugs. Don't do that, my nigga. I see money, I I see money, I see bodies, I see dead niggas, yeah. I see bodies, I see bodies. Per 10, different watches, being 10. Shit, I got it. Hydro, throwing foes, cut them niggas, cut the sides.
Alright, so at the airport right now, it's over, Australia is finished. About to fly back to Dubai. I'm here in this lounge. All good?
Yeah, we have to take him to that belt now.
Cool. Yep. You know, what I've noticed is Australia is starting to step up its game with like luxury services. So I just came to the airport, went to the first class counter for Emirates, and usually you just go to the counter, they take your suitcases and you just check in, and that's it. And then you go through the airport and you get on the plane. But now in Sydney, they have like a fully private check-in counter for Emirates and Singapore first class. So here you come, you sit down, they take your bags, they do the check-in, you sit down and wait, and then you go into the airport. That's insane for Australia. Like that's not normal. I'm not used to such amenities because this place is it's not really service for people that have money, you know? It's really not, which is a shame because I think that a lot of businesses could make more money. So yeah, anyway, now gonna go in and take this flight.
What's up, guys? We're here on the plane, Emirates first class. Got my coffee.
All right, we've made it to Dubai. That's the plane right there. This is the car right here. Thank you very much. Feels very, very good being back here. It's now 1:30 p.m. in Dubai. Pre-market is already open for the stock market. So now it's much less stressful. I feel much less anxious and I feel a lot healthier being able to see what's about to happen in the stock market during the day. And today looks like it's going to be another bloody day. Looks like it's going to be another red open, another continuation of the last few weeks, which has been mostly red. So being in a better time zone is just much healthier for me. It's been stressful having to be on top of it during the very, very early hours in Australia. So yeah, it feels good to be back here right now.
Welcome, sir.
Have a good day.
Bags.
Long time. Wow, you're looking bigger, man. Looks like you're going to the gym a lot, huh?
Yeah.
You've been training a lot?
Yeah, no any work.
since I'm gone, no work, huh?
Yeah.
How long am I gone for? 3 weeks?
No, more than 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, because of Asia. And now the weather, it's changing, right?
Yeah,
Becoming more hot.
more hot, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So now back in Dubai. Feels very, very nice being back here. Very relaxing. If you don't already, subscribe, comment, like, and see you on the next video.